we're going to be going over some ways that you can make your own surrealist, Dada-inspired collage. So first off, for supplies, you definitely will want to get some sort of magazine or book that you can cut out. I definitely recommend one with a lot of nice images that you can use. In addition to that, you'll definitely want your scissors and a glue stick. Now, I do recommend a glue stick for beginners because your paper is going to be kind of thin in these magazines, and if you use too much heavy glue, it's going to bleed through or warp your paper. So a glue stick definitely tends to work best here. So when you're starting out your collage, I definitely recommend that you begin with the background first, right? So the furthest back layer. And that's what I'm doing here in the video is I went through my magazine and I found this nice backdrop here. Now the backdrop, it was kind of a full spread, meaning 2 pages next to one another. So I did have to tear it down the middle. And to kind of embrace that tear and kind of embrace the collage look, I am going to go ahead and tear it up even further. So that's what I'm doing here, is just kind of breaking it up, shattering it into different pieces. Shattering your art, meaning breaking it up into different fragments, is another really good technique that you can do when collaging. Now, I did it with the background, but you could do this with a person's face, for example, and you can kind of separate the individual fragments for just a really cool, unique look. So definitely try shattering your art and fragmenting it. So now that I have the background, I did go ahead and glue it down, and now I'm going to go ahead and select some subjects for my scene. Now, we are going with surrealism. So surrealism is meant to be very kind of like dreamlike, not very realistic. Things aren't always to scale. Things are very abstract. So I'm just kind of looking for some fun, funky images that I can incorporate into my scene. I didn't really plan it ahead at all. I'm just kind of flipping through the magazine, and I found this really fun image of a girl on a skateboard. So I'm going to try to find a way to incorporate that. And then going through, I found this awesome spider, and I really like bugs. So I knew I definitely want to incorporate him in somehow. So right now I'm just kind of going around the legs of the spider because they are like hairy legs, and just kind of cleaning up those edges, kind of fraying it a little bit so that it looks a little more hairy, like the spider's actual legs would be. All right, now I'm just kind of playing around with some stuff. I have the girl, and I actually cut out her skateboard, so now she's like skating on top of the spider. I found this like industrial pipe here that I have coming out of her hat. This is where we're really getting weird and funky and having fun with our scene, because that's really what surrealism is all about. It's about things that are irrational and not realistic. I'm cutting out just some other fun elements and things I can use to kind of frame my subject, and just picking out other images. So again, I'm just going through and sourcing anything that I might want to use to create this funky surrealist collage. Now, with that background image, there was a lot of text, and I definitely want to make sure that all of that text is covered. So now I'm just kind of trying out different things that I can layer on top of it to see what sticks. Now, all those smaller images that I cut out, like the girl on the skateboard and the spider, I have not yet glued those down. The reason being, I want to kind of play around with it. It's kind of like a puzzle, right? If they're not glued down yet, I can still move around those pieces. I can move around those subjects to kind of try out different layouts and different compositions. Because sometimes that very first idea that we have, that first composition, isn't the most dynamic. It's not the most exciting. So if we play around with it first, sometimes we can find a better option. So here I found this other one with this woman with these amazing braids, and I'm kind of tying that in to the girl that was previously skateboarding. I'm finding a secondary background and popping that in to cover up the background. To cover up the background text. And again, just having fun with it. Now we are replacing quite a few things here. We're replacing the background. I just replaced the girl's hand, right? We're replacing her skateboard with a spider here. Now I'm about to be adding this mask over top. I'm trying different things to see what I like here. I'm cutting out the eye. I could replace that eye now with something else if I wanted to. So replacing parts of your image is another essential part of collaging. All right. So I'm now, I took the skateboard from the girl. There's kind of a bad glare on this, but I took the skateboard from the girl, and now I'm giving it to the spider so he could be riding it. Again, we are going funky and irrational here. Now I'm also layering some text on top. A lot of times in our magazines and newspapers, we're kind of limited. Sometimes we don't have all these big, beautiful, full color images, but text can be a really great tool to use in your designs. And I'm going to be showing you how to use it in your designs pretty soon. But here I am going through and gluing on my pieces. Now, when I'm gluing on these pieces, make sure you do not get glue on your table or on your cutting mat. I recommend layering some of the scraps underneath the smaller pieces and then using that to protect your workspace before applying the glue to the small area, because you will be getting glue around that small area. So again, you want to make sure that's not your surface or you will get everything very sticky. So again, use those scraps as kind of your base. All right, now I'm applying some of those text layers. I wanted some kind of like dynamic movement lines coming around the spider, since he's like doing some kick flips on the skateboard here. So I'm adding those in. And again, I'm just using text from this magazine. I'm also using text to kind of frame some different parts. And then here I have my final fun piece that I ended up with. I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.